Skylanders. A very, very, very popular game from the early 2010s. It was the creation to the genre known as Toys to Life, which in itself is a very, very nostalgic genre for a lot of kids in the early 2010s. I know that I was nostalgic towards it because I honestly grew up playing Disney Infinity and Lego Dimensions, but I never got a chance to play Skylanders. But that all changed just last year. I was going on Mercari, one of my favorite kinds of websites to just buy new stuff, or, well, not new stuff. I mean, everything on there is mostly used, but, it is just a good storefront to buy a lot of things, and I was looking at all these videos of Skylanders, because I always watched Skylanders from afar when I was a kid. I saw other kids play with it, and I saw Stampy Cat play it, and and people like that, but I never actually got a chance to play it myself. So I went back and I started watching all of these old videos, and what can I say? I got hooked, and I wanted to see if Skylanders was worth all the hype myself. My first purchase Skylander started with Washbuckler from Skylanders Swap Force. I got him for only $1. That's actually a really good deal for him, especially for the fact that I could swap him around, and it was a lot of fun to mess with, even though I didn't have any other Skylanders besides him for a while. After my purchase of Washbuckler, though, I have to say a habit had started. Whether it was a good one or a bad one is up for debate. Let's cut to my Skylanders collection now, shall we? Yeah, I definitely started a habit, if you couldn't tell. Now, as you can probably tell from the title of this video, and from what I said earlier, I grew up playing other games that weren't Skylanders. I grew up playing Disney Infinity, and I grew up playing Lego Dimensions. Now, I'm not saying those games are bad by any means, because they are certainly a lot of fun also. But if you ask me, I think what really sells Skylanders for me is its originality. How everything has been made from the ground up to explain why these toys are coming to life on this portal, and all of this nonsense that really goes into this game, instead of it just being brand IPs go into game, like with Disney or Lego. Now, I'm gonna have to admit something that's probably gonna get me crucified by the Skylanders community. I have never played the first 3 games. I have not touched Giants, I have not touched Spyro's Adventure, and I have not touched Swap Force. I only have Imaginators, Trap Team, and Superchargers. Now, I know that's probably gonna get a lot of you guys pissed, but guys, collecting Skylanders as a new fan is expensive as shit. Let me just say that. Now, while I say that, Skylanders is still a lot of fun in 2025. I would be lying if I said it wasn't. But yes, it is very pricey, especially the later games. Well, except for Superchargers, that game's not really that pricey, but it's more of a Trap Team and Imaginators problem. But regardless, I made this video today because I wanted to talk about a new fan's perspective on Skylanders. Is it worth trying out for anyone who hasn't played it? And is the price of some of these figures really worth it? Regardless, that's the kinds of things that I'll be going into topic about today. So sit back, enjoy, and I will simply talk about Skylanders, a game that shaped countless lives of countless kids, and I had no idea. Now, before we get started, there are 6 mainline Skylanders games. Emphasis on mainline. There are some other ones, but we can talk about those another day. Let's first start off with price of figures. Usually the cheapest game, figure-wise, is Spyro's Adventure, the first game. Now, you will need a PS3 or Xbox 360 in order to play Spyro's Adventure, as it is an older game, but from what I can tell, it still seems like it's a lot of fun. Again, I've never played it, so don't take my word for it. But again, it looks like fun. In Skylanders Giants, the prices of figures are about relatively the same online nowadays. Not that expensive. Some can get pretty expensive, like Series 2 Bash or something like that, but mostly Giants is pretty easy to collect for. It's just similar to Spyro's Adventure. With the third game in the series, Skylanders Swap Force, we continue our trend with cheaper figures, where nothing is particularly too pricey except for maybe Doomstone, which is the only figure that I can really think of that's at a pretty high mark, being $60. But overall, Swap Forces, again, same old, not that hard to collect for. A lot of the starter pack figures you will find are about like $1 for all 3 of these games. Actually, that goes for pretty much all the games going forward. I don't think there's really an expensive starter pack figure, so if you want to start collecting, I suggest you start there. But next, we move on to Skylanders Trap Team. Now, Trap Team started a bit of a problem. There was way too much shit to buy. And I mean it, way too much shit to buy. They now required you to buy these things called traps. They were these little crystals that you could buy. I'll flash a picture of them up on screen. But you can buy these crystals, and what you would do is you would put them in the slot in your portal. And what you would do with them is you would trap the captured enemies that you would beat up in the game, and you could play as them. Cool idea, right? But it was cool until you realized you had to buy a trap of each element for each villain in the game, making it to where you essentially get paywalled out of playing major content. Sadly, this wasn't the only time that you get paywalled out of playing major content in Skylanders Trap Team, as there was also the elemental gates, which were previously accessible to every other Skylander of that element, but instead, in Skylanders Trap Team, they made it only available to the Trap Masters, which were the new, quote-unquote, gimmick landers, as the community goes to know them as. But the whole idea of gimmick landers is a whole nother video idea that I have, so we'll get to that some other day. But with that out of the way, Skylanders Trap Team has to be by far the second most expensive Skylanders game to collect for. With the inclusion of traps and the almost requirement of buying the new Trap Master characters, there was a lot to buy, like I mentioned earlier, and this is where Skylanders started to enter a bit of a decline. But we will keep going on forward anyways with Skylanders Superchargers, the most controversial game in the series. With the Skylanders franchise being at an all-time low, they needed a real good idea to get the next game flowing and to get more figure selling. So what was their idea? Racing. So not only will you be collecting figures, you'll also be collecting their vehicles that go along with it. Not gonna lie, it's not that pricey, but it will be if you try to get all of the characters, because Thrillipede is by far the most expensive. Finally, we make it to the last Skylanders game, and by far the most expensive, Skylanders Imaginators. It is the one that you see footage playing of right now in case you guys are curious or didn't already know. But regardless, Skylanders Imaginators is probably the second most controversial game in the series, arguably maybe the first, depending on who you ask. But overall, Skylanders Imaginators is by far the most expensive game. Some characters even costing over $800 which is still a freaking surprise to me. But after doing a quick run through the games, I think you can probably get a good gauge as to where you want to start your collection. The first 3 games are usually the cheapest, 4 and 6 are by far the most expensive, 5 is in the medium range. It's not that bad. Overall, collecting Skylanders in 2025 is still a really fun experience. Just opening the characters up from their Akari packages and placing them on the portal and seeing their movesets, hearing their voice, and seeing the character really come to life. It's a lot of fun. It's something really magical not only now, but I'm sure it was back then, back in 2010, for all the kids who originally played these games. Now, don't get me wrong, everything comes at a price. You can get a lot of figures for cheap, but then there's also those figures that are pretty damn pricey. Really, if you ask me, you just gotta be smart with what you want. Do you want the adventure packs? Do you want all the Swap Force characters? Do you want all the Imaginators ones? Really, it's up to you, whatever your heart desires, but just make sure you make the right decisions that make you the happiest, is really the way I see it. And Skylanders has a lot to offer for collectors. A lot to offer. But overall, despite all my yapping, do I think collecting Skylanders in 2025 is worth it? If you ask me, it gets a big, fat check mark from me. It has a lot of fun, it has a lot of value, the figures can go for a lot, so if you want to resell them after you're done playing these games, you are more than welcome to. I'll probably buy them from you, honestly. But regardless, it is a lot of fun, and I think it's definitely worth you guys' time. But that concludes our video for today. I just want to say thank you for watching, and thank you for staying to the very end. I really appreciate it. I know this doesn't look like I did a lot, but I actually put in a lot of effort into this video. I'm doing this as more of like a hobby channel, so I won't really upload all that frequently. I'm just gonna do stuff I really like. So maybe there'll be more Skylanders videos, maybe there won't be. Anyways, I just hope that you guys have a blessed day, and I will see you all some other time, hopefully. Goodbye.